It sucked booty. It was just all around bad. That's not Second Chance. Y'all were never together. We need to ban that name. When it comes out, I might just go to Barnes & Noble, to one of them bookstores, and buy it because I've heard this author has been through it. I don't like the way their art copies look. Their e-arcs. It would be too distracting to read on my Kindle. But if you read it and you think it's awful, you didn't hear nothing from me. Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's already time for a first quarter wrap up. For some reason, I don't like monthly wrap ups. I thought I was gonna attempt to do it this year. I did one for January. I'm not interested in doing monthly wrap ups, but I do know that some people do a quarter wrap up and some people do both. Oh, hell to y'all, because I couldn't. I thought I'd give the first quarter wrap up a shot, see how I like it. So I have my notes. I hope I don't go through too much, so that's why I want to get started. So we're going to start with my stats. So far from January to March, I read a total of 38 books. It's a little low. 24 of them were print. That's 63% of what I've read. And 14 were ebooks, which is 37%. 35 of them were by BIPOC authors, 92%. There was only 3 books that were by white authors. However, they were all diverse in their, like, another way, just not by the author. But there was only one by white author that wasn't, it was just like hetero, white, like there was nothing really going on to diversify it. Everything else, like the other 2 books, one of them had like a bisexual character, and I forgot what the other one, oh, the other one was interracial. Amount of DNFs, 6. For 3 months, like that's a lot of books. Favorite books, least favorite books. My favorite book from January was Blood Debts. It's a YA fantasy. And I will always mention it. The only thing I didn't like was that there is a spicy scene. And I'm like, why is there a spicy scene? Like, we didn't need it at all. February, my favorite book was Gorgeous Gruesome Faces, which was my first 5-star of the year. It took that was book 17. So yeah, it took 17 books to get to a 5-star. Blood Debts was good, don't get me wrong. But I think I ended up giving it like a 4.75 or a 4.5, something like that. I had 3 favorites from March. I had In a Not So Perfect World, which was gifted to me from Harper Perennial. I'm gonna say it every single time. This was a 5-star. I enjoyed the heck out of this book. This Poison Heart by Kaylin Barron. It's the first book in a YA fantasy duet. A Caribbean Heiress in Paris. I always want to say a Caribbean princess, but I think it's A Caribbean Heiress in Paris, which was my first historical romance. My least favorites. Quickly, my rating. 1 star for me means there's not one thing that I could pick out in a book that I enjoyed. I don't like the name of the character. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing I could pick out that I liked about the book. For January, that was Sick Crush. It was a 1 star. It sucked booty. It was just all around bad. The only thing I remember, it is teacher student. And I don't normally go for teacher student. I like professor student because they would be in college. She was like 19 or something. She was a little older. I was hate reading basically. And it's also age gap, obviously. They never mention the age of the MMC. I have no clue if he was in his 30s, late 20s. I would assume late 20s, early 30s. It was just bad. February, sadly, was Game On. I think that was also, that was a 2-ish star or a 2.5. It wasn't good. It's a companion novel to The Love Con. That was okay. I thought I would like this one better. I didn't. March, we got 2. And if you've seen my search for a 5-star romance, you know which ones I'm about to say. So we're gonna get the 1 star out of the way. A Taste of Sin. It was bad. There's not one thing that I could pick out of it that I liked. Say it with me if you've seen the video. Luca. It's probably gonna end up being my worst book of the year. If I were still in school, I would write a paper on it. And I hate to say that I hated it, but oh my gosh. And the thing that I will say that I like, that I hated about it, it's not a simple like, oh, I hated the writing. No, I could name you everything that I hated. Let me not get into it because I could go on and on. Let's move on. Next, I'm so excited. I want to look over my 24 in 2024. I told myself, and I think I mentioned it in the video where I made it, that I wasn't going to look at it until the end of the year. But because I'm doing a quarterly wrap-up, I want to check in and see where I'm at. Is the 4 books in my book jar. I haven't read any of those. I've read some of my owned physical books, but I have yet to pick one out. In my book jar, I have labels. I have videos about it. I have labels with the names on it. A lot of the physical books, I think I've only read maybe 2 or 1 for sure of my physical books that I own. But it was because like I had just gotten it. So something like this. So I guess 2 you could say, because I did read this. The authors I've read before, I see the first one is An Island Princess Starts a Scandal. I will be reading this soon. I'm reading it for April. Blue, This Could Be Us, Vera Wong, Learn to Love You. A Dish Best Served Hot I do own. Taken to Viraxia. I have a video for it. I just haven't started doing a video yet. What is that? Tethered Love. What Are the Odds? I'm nervous about because that's by R.M. Virtues. And I did read another book by him that I didn't really enjoy, but I think it was something totally different. It was like a Greek mythology retelling, which I'm kind of over that. But I guess I'm going to still give this one a shot. I think this one was just like a regular contemporary MM romance. Butterfly, I own, but I have, listen, I have a video reading the Ethic series. Ethic tore me up. Focuses on Morgan. If you know, you know. I can't stand that girl. Okay, and then new to me authors. Blood Debts, Lizards Hold the Sun, All the Right Notes, When the Reckoning Comes, Nobody to Love You Better, and Luca. I read 6. Wow, okay, Blood Debts, y'all know I love. Lizards Hold the Sun, very disappointing. I think I gave it like a 3. All the Right Notes is one of my DNFs. I could have sworn it's promoted as Second Chance, but when I started it, I found out that the 2 MMCs had never been together. And I'm just gonna say this because I'm not positive anymore if this was being promoted as Second Chance, but I hate Second Chance where it's because they were friends and then they grew apart and then they come back. That's not Second Chance. Y'all were never together. Y'all were never dating. Y'all were never intimate with each other. It's not Second Chance, and I hate that. When the Reckoning Comes was one of my first books of the year, or my first book of February. It was good. It was haunting. It was scary. Nobody to Love You Better was disappointing. I think that actually might have been my first book of the year. Oh, side note, the 1-star book that I said, what was it? Sick Crush. Sick Crush was my second book. And then Luca. We need to ban that name. Lastly, I do want to go over new releases because y'all, I have been reading new releases like it's nobody's business. If you're familiar with my page on YouTube and Instagram, I do a monthly new release video. So like this past Sunday, I posted books that are releasing in April. At some point, the end of this month, I'll post new releases for May. I turn them into posts on Instagram. So I wanted to kind of go over that to see what I've read so far. Out of January, I did read Stay With My Heart. If you've seen the January video, go watch it or not. I did say in that one that I did read Stay With My Heart last year. It was one of my NetGalley arcs. It was good. It's not my favorite by the author. I've read other books by her. I was so close to reading City of Salvation. I was close to reading it, but I didn't because it's a little lengthy. I'm currently reading Say You'll Be Mine. I'll say this, I'm positive it's not going to be a 5-star. So Let Them Burn, I read. It's a fantasy. It was really good. I gave it like a 4.25, 4.5, 4.75. So it was a very high 4. The Night of the Storm is another one of my DNFs. I didn't like the writing style. But you see, that's all I could tell you. With Luca, here I go, bring it up, Luca. Right, there's multiple things, but like with this, it's just I didn't like the writing. I was close to reading The Mayor of Maxwell Street. It's long though. And I think I saw someone's review about it that said, like, it's slow, but it picks up. But we'll see. And then Ghost Roast, I was also close to reading because I saw it at my library. And then I went back and it was gone. February, still cannot wait to read This Is How You Fall in Love. I still haven't read it. Someone checked it out at the library. ASAP, I don't want to read until I read XOXO by that author, which I own. Out of Body I read, it was a 4.75. It's Freaky Friday meets Get Out. The only reason it wasn't a 5-star is because when the conflict, like, it was great pacing for that number of pages. It was very short, but really good pacing. Wasn't too fast, you know. The conflict, oh my gosh, it wrapped up so quickly. Sex, Lies, and Sensibility, I need to go pick up from the library. It's on hold. I have until Saturday to pick it up, but I have to go tomorrow because I have books that are due on the 5th, which is Friday. So, The Boyfriend Wish, I still haven't read yet. I didn't realize that was YA, or at least I forgot it was YA. I still haven't read The Island Witch, A Tempest of Tea. Okay, these two. Oh, FYI, Illusions of Fire comes out next year. I got the date from Goodreads, which is why, because of that, it made me start checking the dates on Amazon, because Amazon seems to be accurate. I do have these two, The Partner Plot and Tinder Beast. I still have not, this book is so heavy. I still have not read them, but I will be reading them soon. I had mentioned in that video that I didn't want to read this until I read The Neighbor Favor. I have since then read Neighbor Favor. I loved it. Lord of the Wilds, I'm a little nervous about. I haven't read it yet. I don't know. I'm a little nervous because they said there's a spicy scene. There's confusion as to whether or not it's YA or like new adult. I don't know. And then March releases. Most of these I probably have not read because I get most of my books physically now from the library, and if they just came out in March, they might not have them yet. Apparently The Poisons We Drink has been pushed again, May 7th, I want to say. And I said this in my head the other day, when it comes out, I might just go to Barnes & Noble, to one of them bookstores, and buy it, because I've heard this author has been through it. It was supposed to come out like last year, and then it was pushed to March, now it's pushed again to May. And May 7th, because I've already started working on my May post, I have about 10 books. I might be exaggerating. I have about 8 books, I'll say, that's coming out on May 7th. I do have an art copy of Women of Good Fortune because I am a part of HTP Hive influencer program, whatever that is. I have that book. I still haven't read it yet. I might not read the art copy that I have. I might wait to get it from the library because I don't like the way that, who's that, HarperCollins? Harley Quinn, specifically Harley Quinn, but it's an imprint of HarperCollins. I don't like the way their art copies look, their e-arcs. It would be too distracting to read on my Kindle. On the Line, I did read. It was a 4.5, rounded down to a 4. It's a line cook, spicy romance. I did show you this one. This came out March 19th. I was sent this book, I think right after it came out. Again, gifted to me. I loved it. It's a vacation romance. It takes place in the Caribbean. But if you read it and you think it's awful, you didn't hear nothing from me. I still have not read Rules for Rule Breaking. What is that? Where Sleeping Girls Lie. Now these, I don't know if my library would have them yet because that just came out March 26th. So I haven't read any of those either. That's it. We gotta go read. And I actually need to update another video of mine that I have. But yeah, that's my first quarter wrap up. The year's going good. The first 3 months, again, 38 feels a little bit less than normal, but I really don't even pay attention to how much I'm reading per month until like the end of the month. I'm proud of what I've been doing because I'm thinking back on some of my goals for the year, which was like BIPOC, for example. I wanted my BIPOC books to be 90-ish% of what I'm reading throughout the year, and it's at 92 right now. I think last year 86% of my books were by BIPOC authors. I've been reading a lot of print, not a lot of ebook, which sucks because all of my ebooks that I normally read are going to be indie. I have read some indie books as a physical, but most of the physicals have been traditionally published, which I need to reel that back in. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Let me know in the comments down below how your first quarter went. Have you read any 5s? Tons of 1s? Let's talk about it. Anyways, I'll see you next week. Bye! Okay, I think I want to redo my picture because I look better.